Thank you all for being back with me here on the Wild Mandala podcast. I am your host, Kelly Keeney, and my topic today is going to be about stepping into our inner authority and aligned truth. This is something that I have danced around for the majority of my life. It's been a big part of my path, trying to find my way into that trust of my inner authority. So, yeah, it's feeling really up right now also because of just what I'm seeing in the collective, just what's happening in our world. A lot of people are deferring their authority right now, and it feels really important to kind of hold this intention of reclaiming that in ourselves, and beyond that, finding where our aligned truth lies and giving ourselves permission to live our own lives. The culture is strong, and it really gets its hooks into all of us, and to varying degrees, certainly. But it's important to have our eyes open, I think, right now, and make very conscious choices about what we're doing with our lives and our energy. I've always felt kind of outside on the outskirts of the culture, and this has come as a result of many things. After some childhood stuff, I just have never really felt safe around people. So it's a big deal for me to be stepping into kind of a broader being seen platform here, being seen and heard. But I'm honoring what I'm talking about today, which is my aligned truth, and it's time for me to take this step. So I'm grateful to you all for joining me here as I tiptoe across this threshold. So I've always sought solace in nature with the animals. It's always been the place that I felt like I belonged, and I felt at home and connected to what felt real to me. So that's something that I'm hoping I can bridge out into the world, that the beauty and wisdom and deep grounding and reconnection that comes from those spaces. So, culture definitely got a hold of me also. And as I went through my university, I had a tumultuous university experience, but also ended up in a professional program in vet school, and stepped out, and I was just trying to be good, do well, be okay, learn, practice the way I was supposed to practice, and follow all the rules, and do it right, and not mess up, and be a good person, and be a good mom at the same time, and just all the things. I just can still feel that striving and grasping and gripping kind of feeling in that memory. And I was pulled very deeply out of conventional practice kind of early-ish on in my career, and it was super uncomfortable because I didn't feel qualified even as a conventional vet, much less to kind of branch out into the holistic world back then. It was a very big divide between the two. It still kind of is, actually. And yeah, you just have to prove yourself so much more intensely if you step out of this kind of just broadly accepted conventional model. And I value science very highly and evidence. And, so I hold myself still to both standards of wanting to be very intellectual, well-informed, science-based in what I do, but also I recognize that there's a lot that we can't measure, and there's a lot that we don't know, and there's a lot that plants can offer, and there's a lot that these incredible alternative medicine healing modalities. These ancient medicine techniques are thousands of years old. Our conventional allopathic model of care is just in the couple of hundreds of years old. I mean, it makes a lot of sense that there'd be some wisdom there. But I still feel like I have to prove myself more than I would otherwise if I just had stayed in that kind of that self-validating kind of loop that you get when you stay in the culturally kind of those seals of approval exist kind of regardless of what you do. So it's just interesting how it's come around for me in so many really profound ways. And I'm still working my way through trying not to strive for approval and all those things. I've come a long way, but I'm still doing the work. It took me many years and many degrees and certifications before I finally gave up striving for validation in those ways. Just in that proving myself to myself kind of pathway. So yeah, I've definitely dove deep down that trajectory. And I've been, over the last handful of years, really reawakening my own deeper knowing, my trust in my intuition, my inner authority. It's a work in progress. So the other kind of area that has really led me deep into this awareness around needing to trust myself is my journey with the horses. It's for any of you who know anything about the horse world, it's pretty complicated and very diverse, and there's a lot still present, unfortunately, that's pretty abusive to horses. There's also a lot of amazingly beautiful things that are bubbling up that are not that are very much in service to the horse, that are very much truly in connection with horses. But those other avenues of working with horses and housing horses and just what we do with them, there's a lot that just feels just fundamentally very wrong to me. So when I got back into having horses, I had taken a break kind of in the middle years when I was having kids and in vet school and all this. But so I had them when I was young, and then I came back to having them with me on my property. And I had a lot of really traumatized rescues to start, and that was very eye-opening for me, the level of trauma horses can hold, sadly inflicted by humans. And I did everything I could to help them. I tried so many things, and I was figuring it out as I was going, and I just felt so completely inadequate, and often still do. But for many years, I tried to follow the methods that I felt were right and kind and true. And so often they were just smoke and mirrors, and then it turned around to actually you just have to whip the horse and send them And I will say, though, that I had that true intention of only working with people that were really in service to the horse. And while all of their methods ended up varying widely, and I could point a lot of fingers at myself too, around ways that they were still being dominated, they were still being, they had no choice. All these things that I try very hard to steer away from now. I had to kind of work my way through all these different methods, and I really believe everyone meant well. It's just when you create a method, you have to just make it a little bit black and white. And I think that's where the trouble is this black and white thinking. So I think the healthier approach, for me anyways, has turned out to be I've taken little bits and pieces of all of these different modalities of working and being with horses, and and all these different methods, and they're just all a part of my tapestry of how I am with them. And I think that's kind of true of my veterinary work too. I've taken the bits and pieces from the conventional world that feel in alignment, and I've taken the bits and pieces from kind of all the other avenues that I've studied, and it's just kind of this very individual soup. And I think that that's kind of how we're meant to be, where we all have our own unique imprint here. We have our own unique purpose and path, and another cannot replace us. We're each in our individual selves that are just kind of developing our expression in this world and finding our way. And I am really inspired right now to really step in fully on this path. I was listening to a talk by James Hollis, who I love. He's a Jungian analyst, and he quoted Jung from a book that he had written in 1912, saying, "The spirit of evil is negation of the life force by fear. Only boldness can deliver us from fear. And if the risk is not taken, the meaning of life is violated." And I think it's a good thing to remember. I mean, fear can certainly be necessary and protective fundamentally, and we don't want to just blow it off. But I think our inner compasses are there for us. And if we listen to our bodies and we listen to our emotions, then we can find our way to what's right for us. So, yeah. Thank you all for being here. My plan for this podcast is to keep things pretty broad. So I'm looking at doing kind of a veterinary topic next time that's kind of close to my heart. And I'll just keep making these offerings with whatever's kind of organically arising, and hope that that's landing well and in service to the collective out there. So yeah, I appreciate so much all of your listening here today with me, and I send you my love.